Welcome to Compliance Clips, your transportation insight hub. I'm Rick Morgan. Please join me and my co-host, the effervescent John Farquhar, as we share our expertise and that of our guests to help you navigate the road towards improved safety, compliance, and profit. And
Hey, welcome back to another episode of Compliance Clips with your co-host, Rick Morgan, and myself, John Farquhar. Today, well,
what did
today
you do
we're
to
going to
him? What did you do to him?
I didn't do
We
anything
had
to him.
we had a guest.
Oh, yes, we had a guest. Yes, unfortunately, we had a guest. He was quite enjoying himself up in the North Country, and unfortunately, his internet wasn't so great, and his voice doesn't sound good at all. Yeah, yeah,
Charlie Brown's
exactly.
teacher.
So yes, Charlie Brown's teacher was there. Wah, 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 wah. So anyway, so rather than put on a really terrible audio sounding video, we're going to get him back later, but we're not going to give it away who it is. We'll wait. But today we thought, hey, it's the beginning of the year. What could we possibly talk about? And well, social media is full of stupid things that are happening. And we want to find out from you folks what it is you're not doing, because we want to talk about the things what not to do in dealing with a crash after it's happened.
Yeah, so I mean, like we're look if you got to be living under a rock if you're not seeing all
Yeah.
the images on Facebook
Oh,
and the various media of trucks having crazy occurrences, whether it's
we're,
head-ons or going into the
yep.
ditches, or we had the video that I shared the other day where a truck hits a car that's
Mm-hmm,
been stalled in the middle lanes.
mm-hmm,
So what we're looking at is the crash.
yep.
And one of the things that you and I both see is where carriers fall down in
Mm-hmm,
managing the crash. And
mm-hmm,
those that
mm-hmm.
what would you say? The first 60 minutes are
Oh, crucial.
probably the most crucial.
Yep, yep.
So, for those of you who don't know and who follow us, John has actually joined the dark side and gone back to, the
Yes.
real working world. Um, I'm continuing to be rejected by just about anyone who would consider hiring a safety professional at this stage because of my age and, various other factors, but we won't go there.
It's not your
So,
good looks. I know that.
well, we're in the same boat there, my friend. You may have a little bit more hair, but I'm not sure that there's much else attractive going on.
Yeah, exactly.
So, John, let me ask you, kind of turn the
Yep.
table for a second. From your role as the insurance provider,
Hmm.
what do you see most frequently that is like, top three mistakes carriers are making when it comes to dealing with a crash?
This is beautiful because I want to talk about what not to do. So we're not going to talk about what to do, what you should be doing. Everybody knows what they should be doing. Let's talk about what we're not doing. And probably one of the first ones is we're not calling our insurance broker or our insurance company to report the claim because we think, oh, we can deal with that in house. It's okay. Not a good move right off
I
the
had
bat.
I had that just the other day. The person
Yep.
I was speaking to actually said, "Oh, it's an internal one because it's under our
Yes.
deductible."
Yes.
Except
No,
for it
no,
was
no, no, no. Yep.
it was in what our friend Doug Marcello happens to call a judicial hellhole.
Yes, exactly, exactly. So probably the first one right off the bat is not getting your broker or your insurance company involved with the process. They can really, really help you. And we've professed that for years. But some people just think, well, yeah, but my deductible is this, and it's going to be under the deductible. I don't need the insurance company. Oh, you so need the insurance company. That's what they're there to help you keep it under your deductible and not explode.
So expand on that. Why? I mean, like you're telling me, and I, I'm coming from the carrier community, and now I'm the independent consultant, and I know why from what I've done. But
Hmm.
for the telecarrier, like, okay, you've had a minor fender bender,
Hmm.
maybe the car even hit you,
Hmm.
right? And there was no tow away, there was no ambulance, but why does a carrier need to tell you? Let's just say that it happened in Georgia.
Yep, sure, perfect. So what we run into really quickly is we have a third party involved. You are the first party. Your insurance company is the second party, and the third party is somebody outside that relationship that you entangled with. Regardless of whose fault it is, you've now tangled with a third party. Well, that third party might go, I'm fine, don't worry about it. I'm okay. I'm okay. And then you walk away and you go do your separate thing and you think, oh, it's only about $5,000, $6,000, $10,000 worth of damage. We'll deal with that. Well, it's not, because that third party has the opportunity up to 2 years, as a matter of fact, before they have to file a claim for bodily injury. And they might get talking to their buddy and around a couple of round of beers and go, man, you should talk to a lawyer, or you should talk to a doctor. You might be up for some compensation there. And next thing you know, oh, my neck feels like it hurts. Maybe it's from that crash. Oh, this, oh, that. And now all of a sudden, here we are 6 months, a year, year and a half later, and your insurance company is getting a claim for bodily injury for a crash that they never were reported to. They don't even know it exists. They have the right. They could deny that claim, but definitely they're going to come back to you and go, well, if you're hiding that one, what else are you hiding? So it creates a real concern, and it will really cause stress on your relationship with your insurance providers.
And, I mentioned jurisdictional hellholes when you're reaching out to your insurance provider.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to take into consideration the location.
Yes, they are.
And so maybe you can talk about how your response as an insurance provider, the recommended approach in an insurance provider would be different. Let's just say if it was in a non judicial hellhole, although it's getting really hard to find those now compared to let's just say Cook County, Illinois, which is been one of the leaders for years.
Right.
What would you as an insurance provider be saying to a carrier who, let's just say, was rear-ended outside of Chicago in rush hour?
Don't sit and wait. Don't wait for them to come to you. You need to go to them. You need to nip this in the bud right away. Our good friend Doug Marcello will say right away, get on the defense side, or the offense side, I guess I should say. Get on the offense and go after them. Kind of shut it down very quickly to the point where you're going to throw them off their heels, where they're going to think, whoa, what's going on? You're coming after me. I hit you. You're coming after me. Yes, I'm coming after you because you've damaged my trailer. You may have caused cargo damage. You've caused me downtime and whatnot. Don't walk away from it going, oh, they hit me. We're okay. We don't have much damage. I'm sorry. You've now left the door open for them to come at you for whatever reason that they can possibly throw against the wall to see what sticks. If we throw them off their heels and go after them first to say, hey, you hit me and this is not right. You should be doing this. Don't, just because you got no damage doesn't mean you should just leave it. You need to jump on it and deal with it. And the nice thing is, in a very quick fashion, you could probably settle this claim very quickly. And even if it was for no dollars, you could at least get it signed off by both parties that there's no further actions going to come of this incident. Maybe
you're talking full and final release.
Yes, exactly. Full and final release. Like they may have damage to their car. The back of your trailer might have a little damage, and you're going, you know what? I'm not going to worry about the damage. It's $1,000. We'll pay that. You pay for your own car, but let's have a final release signed off to say nobody goes after anybody after this. And that can be done fairly quickly. And your insurance provider will jump on that opportunity, because the lower we can keep this claim, and even if it's something where it's under your deductible, getting your insurance company involved to help you keep the claim low, they have the power to do that. If you don't utilize their services in that fashion, what can happen is this claim can now get bigger and stupid, out of hand, where it goes above your deductible. And now your insurance company is going, if you had got us involved, we could have helped you keep this low, but now it's got out of hand. Now we got U.S. lawyers involved. Now we got to do this. Now we got investigators. All these things that are going to cost more money when it could have been handled for a few thousand. It's now gotten into hundreds of thousands.
Okay, so that was your number one, number one not to do, and how to correct it. I'm going to guess, I think I know where you're going, number two, but I'm going to ask you anyway. What is your number two that you see carriers do wrong most often when it comes to accident management?
Poor internal documentation gathering.
I knew you were going to say that.
So, the lack of gathering the details right away. They're fresh, right? Talking with your driver right away. Get the conversation started. Analyze the situation to the point where before I talk to my driver, do I need to get a lawyer involved? Should I probably get a lawyer? Oh my God, we've got injuries. Maybe we've got a fatality. I want him speaking to legal counsel. I don't want him speaking to me. I want him speaking to legal because now we can protect that. But I want to start gathering information. I want to be in contact with the police to get a copy of the police report. I want to know who the third parties are. I want pictures. If I can get somebody to the scene, or if I can get the insurance company to get somebody to the scene to gather more data, my data recording process through my telematics providers, my dash camera footage, all that information needs to be preserved immediately. Do not wait and think, oh, it's on the server. I can get it in a few weeks or a month or two or whatever. No. Get it now and start looking at it so that you can help you understand what happened in this incident and probably direct you in which course of action you need to take next.
And number 3?
Oh my gosh. Probably the bigger one I have is the lack of analyzing the crash to learn from it and then implementing corrective actions with whoever needs to be as part of that program. I don't want to say corrective actions with the driver because maybe the driver did everything he possibly could and it wasn't his responsibility for this. Like, and not to say he was at fault for it, but it could have been prevented, but maybe he was put in a position by somebody else within the company. So by analyzing the whole crash to find out what happened, what can we learn from this incident is key. And I don't see that. I don't, as much as you and I've professed, Rick, of how to analyze a crash, I don't see anybody doing it at all. And it's like you're missing so much opportunity.
So let me ask you, because I'm gonna force feed you a question here because this is one of the ones that I see. So number 1 and number 2, you're talking about how we actually respond in that first 60 minutes, and how often is it that you see that internal structures and frameworks have been built such that if the safety manager is not available, somebody knows how to manage the scene, i.e., do you have a framework? Do you have a checklist? Do you have a document on it? Because one of the things that I see when I'm getting brought in to assist carriers, and we look at the accident management as a part of their overall safety program, is the safety manager is usually fairly knowledgeable about how to do it, but they do it by the seat of their pants. They don't have a checklist to walk them through. It's not available when they get woken up at 2 o'clock in the morning to respond to the accident and they're groggy. Or if they happen to be, this time of year, a lot of people take off down to the sunny south and you're not, you're not available.
Sure.
There's nobody who's really effectively able to manage that scene while they're gone. So I find that having checklists is really critical. And in those checklists, I think probably one of the most overlooked elements is the post-accident drug and alcohol. How many times have you had a file drop across your desk that happened in the U.S. and even if it was a minor one, but there was a tow away from the scene and there was a citation, and the safety manager wasn't there, and there was no post. And what happens when there's no post and you get in the scenario that you're talking about where the other party decides to sue?
You failed on meeting a required regulation. So now the questions pop up. What are you hiding? What were you hiding in
Why
that
didn't
situation?
you do this is a mandated obligation of you under the 49 CFR. If this happens, this happens, this happens, and this happens, you must do a drug and alcohol test within this period of time. Right. So, not only do you have to have that post-accident drug and alcohol chart posted in your operations room and on everyone's phone, but everyone's got to have the contact name for your consortium.
Yes.
Because if you're in the middle of, a word that I'm not allowed to say on TV, Utah, and you have an accident,
Yeah.
there may not be a facility within,
No. No.
hundreds of miles. And
Well,
particularly, your driver may not even be able
yep.
to attend.
Yep.
They may
Well,
be
so
injured.
very much like your insurance provider, right?
Yep.
Use your service partners to help you. Don't be sitting there flipping through a Rolodex trying to find someplace where you can get them drug and alcohol tests. Contact your consortium. They have the list of who they have relations with all throughout North America. Call them up and say, hey, I need some help. I'm dealing with this. Can you find me somebody where he can go for that? They'll call you back in 10 minutes or tell you on the phone. Yeah, hang on a sec. Right here, 20 miles from you is this place here. They can do it right now. I'll call them. I'll set it up. You get the driver there.
All right, so we're going to take a pause for the cause right now because that's our 15-minute mark that we like to stick to. Thank you so much for joining us today. I hope you found the conversation interesting and helpful. Join us next week. We're going to pick up this conversation exactly where we left off. We continue with things not to do, and we get a little bit into how to do what you should be doing and discuss various options and the reality of dealing with crashes in 2025 and beyond. Thanks so much. Look forward to seeing you shortly. Hey, thanks for tuning in. We hope you found today's materials to be useful and you can put them to work. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel so you never miss an episode. And if you've got questions from today's material, or maybe you're just looking to improve your safety and compliance game, please feel free to reach out to either me or John. And remember, you can't manage what you don't monitor. The key to compliant profitability is just one phone call away. So until next time, put the phone down while you drive and keep your eyes on the prize.